Good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. Today we are revisiting planes, trains, and automobiles. Um, you may ask why. Why this movie? Why now? Um, I honestly I don't have no specific reason, but I was just kind of like going down memory lane. And it's, the beginning of November, and this is one of those like Thanksgiving holiday films. And I watched it, I put it on. It's on Paramount Plus, by the way, just in case anybody wants to watch it, maybe for the first time or rewatch it, as I did. Um, so there that is. There that is. So, revisiting and, talking about certain moments in the movie, highlights, um, most memorable, stuff like that. So, let's dive in, shall we? And, sorry, trying to pull it up. You're like, why are you never ready? Sorry. Sorry. It's all I can say is sorry. Okay, so um to start it all off, if you don't already, I mean, maybe you don't, maybe you've never seen this movie before. It does star Steve Martin and John Candy, R.I.P. John Candy was like, he was one of the greats. He was like so funny, probably without even trying to be funny. He was just, I don't know. I think he was like a natural. And then hearing from like so many people, like he was, I don't know, I've never met the guy, but hearing, from people who's worked with him, like he was genuinely a nice guy, right? This isn't about him. I'm just, because he's in the movie, and um, he does does very much play a huge part in the movie. Um, but once this is uploaded, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on him, on his character. Um, do you feel like he, and I feel like people have been using this word way too much these days. Do you feel like he was gaslighting Steve Martin's character, Neil? Or do you feel like he was just genuinely like that bumbling buffoon that he was in the film and just stumbled upon him? I don't know. But John Hughes, if you are a John Hughes fan, when I I don't know if you've ever watched a movie and you like you're starting to pinpoint things that a director does. And in his case, and me watching this, I've seen this movie several times, and I don't know why. I'm going to see if I can pull up a good picture and hopefully show it to you guys. Because this movie came out in, does it show? 1987. And where I'm going to go with this is, let's see, is it on here? Because, oh, let me just pull up the house. Pull up the house, Josh. Um, let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you two images. One is where it's snowing, and another is when it's not snowing. Again, I'm gonna, let's see. Do we see that? I know it's glare from the. Now, if you're seeing this picture, and again, sorry for the glare because of the lighting, let's show you another. Oh, okay. This is without it snowing. Does this house look like another house that John Hughes has directed? I'm gonna show you. Because again, just watched this movie many times, and today is one of those days where I just like, why does that house look so familiar? It's probably not the same house because looking at it and the fact that it and the other film that I'm mentioning, I might as well just tell you, Home Alone. Home Alone is the house that I'm talking about. Um, and it's a very similar house. And I know it's not the same house, but again, I'm going to show you, hopefully, as I'm saying this. Chat amongst yourselves. Chat amongst yourselves. As this is live, I'm a very special human being. Okay, so this may not be the best image. Actually, it's pretty. Okay, so this house is much bigger. But do we see any similarities? So, um, I think John Hughes has a style for such houses. Um, but again, I was, you know, watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and I was like, huh, what is that? That house looks similar, right? Anyway, back to the movie. So, um, Neil Page, who's played by Steve Martin, he is in like a business meeting. He is kind of like a director of I think of sales or something like that. I forgot what his job is. But they were looking at three images to see which image best suits maybe a magazine. We're gonna go with that. I don't know if they really said. And I just watched this movie and I'm like, I don't remember them really talking about it. I know he said what he did, but it was very brief. And I'm like, what? But what is this for? Why are we talking about this? So he's in a business meeting. He's like doing the thing with his watch. He's like, I gotta go to another coworker. He's like, I gotta get home, and so his job is in New York. He lives in Chicago. Um, I have questions, but no one is here to answer those questions. Um, so he is literally setting like this, looking at. Did I go back too far? Let's see. Oh, what is that? Oh, cute. Okay. Ha. So him and his coworker, which is this guy, both looking at their boss, this guy, and just like, what the fuck? Can we move this along? And when I see people like that, I know this is a movie, but still, I'm just like, people do have lives outside of work. And maybe you don't want to go home to your wife. I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions. But other people may want to get home to their families, you know? Um, but, he's wasting people's time. And he, Neil, needs to catch a flight to Chicago. So, he is trying to catch a cab. And who happens to be in the movie? I think this was one of his first. It's a non-speaking role. Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon. Um, I don't know. Maybe he knew John Hughes, and was just like, "Hey, do you want to just be like in a quick little cameo? Like no one knows you, but like, do you want to be in this movie?" And it was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it, right?" I don't know what he said. I'm just trying to like, why not, right? So, um, so Kevin Bacon, we don't know his name in the movie. It's never mentioned because he doesn't have a speaking role. So he takes his cab, and while he is trying to run down another cab, he falls down while trying to get another cab. Well, maybe it was actually no. You know what? It was the same cab, and it was actually John Candy's character um, getting that come on, getting that cab, and he's like, "That's my cab. You don't know who you're messing with." And so this is his face. Let's see, do we? Okay, so classic face, right? And anyway, he somehow makes it to the airport. Then stumbling across him, saying like, "I know you, I know you," because he's sitting there reading this book, The Canadian Mounted. Kind of racing material, you know? Um, so this is a very, um, kind of an odd pairing of, but basically, it's Neil's story, but them two are trying to get to wherever they need to get to go. Neil trying to get home. He's trying to get home to his family, and it just seems like John Candy's character. I keep saying his character, and I'm terrible with names, but Dale Griffith. Dale Griffith. That's his name, and yeah. So it just seems like every time he is around him, chaos ensues. Right? It ensues, and so they do get on the plane. Um, this is them on the plane. Neil was supposed to be in first class, and he's raising hell about that. And I think I might have done that too. I don't know, But I'm just like, what do you mean there's no seats left? If I paid for a first class seat, I should have a seat. And maybe he handled it wrong. Maybe he did. But still, I'm just like, dude can't catch a break. He can't catch a break. So he's setting in coach with his with his now sidekick Dale, and they make it to, is it Missouri or is it Michigan? It's one of these places. And what do they need to do? They need to catch a plane. No, sorry. They already caught a plane. They need to catch a train because it's planes, trains, and automobiles. So, um, they do end up staying the night at this hotel because Dell's like, oh, if you pay for the taxi fare, I can get you a room. I know this guy. So basically, they are big bickering, but they end up sleeping, and they wake up like that, and then they both wake up realizing they're not next to who they want to be next to, and they're like that. Okay, so um, this it's a very classic movie, and I want to get to one of my favorite parts. This part to me just makes this movie, and this lady has a very small role. I've seen her in a couple of things. I cannot give you her name to save my life, but um, let's see. So he was supposed to get a car. The car is missing. This is, you don't see him, but the car is missing, right? The car is supposed to be right there. So he is running and finally catches up to this lady. She's just all smiles and rainbows and sunshine, and then his face is, and I'm gonna try to quote this line as best as possible. And again, I just watched this movie, and I should be like, you know. So she's like, "How can I help you?" And he's like, "You could start by wiping that shitty grin off of your face, and by helping me get a fucking car that I fucking paid for." And she's basically like, "I don't appreciate the way that you're talking to me." And he's like, "Well, I don't appreciate having um the line is erasing, but basically like, I don't appreciate being dropped off with no fucking keys to no fucking car that I fucking paid for. So what I need you to do is get me a fucking car right fucking now." And then she's like, well, do you have the rental agreement? It's like, I threw that out. Oh. And he's like, oh, what? You're fucked. Just the hilarity and um the irony and all in it all is just it's like, again, this guy, he cannot win. He cannot win. And yeah, he may have been a complete asshole kind of throughout this movie, but I don't think he was doing it on purpose. Literally, he's not a bad guy. I am taking up for him. You know why? You want to know why I'm taking up for him? Because if you think about it, if you put yourself in his shoes, you're working a 9 to 5 job, right? And you've worked hard. You got your tickets in advance. Just like, okay, all I need to do is get to the airport and get on the plane and go home, go to Chicago. Okay, sure. Uh, Getting to Chicago might have been a problem because of the airports being closed due to the blizzard, right? And said Chicago. But it, I if it was not for Dale being who he was and being just, I don't know. I'm just like, I still think somehow he planned all of this. Maybe it's just being ironic, and I don't know. I'm just like, how could he have planned this? But I'm just like, it just seemed too convenient for him to be everywhere that he was. Right? I don't know. I don't know. But he he's like trying to make the best out of everything. Okay, sure. He slept in the same bed as him. Because if not, he would have had to stay in the airport. I don't know what would have been better. I mean, either way, you would have had to sleep somewhere. And I'm like, what? I mean, what is the next best option, right? I don't know. But still, when they went to sleep, uh, a burglar came in, robbed both of them. Um, Steve's character had $700 and something dollars on him. I'm like, first of all, like, why do you have that much cash on you? Why? And then Dell had, I think he said like 200 and something on him, and he was blaming Dell for like, oh, you're a thief. You stole my money. And when in all actuality, they both got robbed. So there's that. So again, I'm just like, Dell is the one. Maybe he didn't do it on purpose, but it's just like, if you would not have met him, I don't think you would have had these problems. That's all I'm saying. I think you would have been all right by yourself. Um, who got the car? Dale did. Dale got the car. Um, and then of course the car got fucked up. With them on the way to supposedly to Chicago. Um, Dale ends up on the wrong side of the road, and he's thinking he's driving the right way. There's people on the opposite side of the freeway saying, "You're going the wrong way." Steve wakes up, and he's like, "What's happening?" He's like, "They're saying we're going the wrong way. How would they know? How would they know where we're going?" He's like, "Yeah, you're right. okay, thank you. Doing all that kind of movement. Um, and so they're just like la 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 driving, and then he happens to like look down at the side of the road because if you see there's ice and it was going in a different motion, right? So he's like, and they keep yelling, "You're going the wrong way!" And then he's looking at him, Dale that is. All of a sudden, there's two 18 wheelers heading towards them. And he sees Dell in a different light, like he's the devil. And it's just, this movie again. It's a classic, Chef's Kiss, and yeah, um, it is another one of those movies that I do like watching during this time. Another movie. This is getting off topic, but just thinking about movies that people watch during like November time or like towards Thanksgiving. I never knew why this was played during Thanksgiving, but The Wizard of Oz, as much as I love that movie, it played every year. Like every year. I don't know if it still does, but it played every year, either the day before or on that day of Thanksgiving. And it was like almost on a loop. I don't know why. I have no idea why. And of course, like other classics like the Peanuts. I think what was it called, like their first Thanksgiving or Peanuts Thanksgiving, something like that. Um, what else? I don't think there really is a lot of like Thanksgiving films, but holiday films, yes, leading up to Christmas and stuff like that. But yeah, and then thinking about, does this movie hold up today? Now, I'm on the fence on that. And then you guys, if you want to comment down below whenever you do watch this, if you do watch it, please watch it. Please subscribe, all of that, please. But if you've seen this movie and you do love this movie, maybe you could be like on the fence where you're like, yes, it holds up, it's a classic. But maybe if they're like, new young people, whatever, and they're trying to watch it for the first time, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if they would enjoy it as much as that we did, us growing up watching this movie. I mean, you got two legends in this movie, like leading this movie, and it's hilarious. But there are things that today you couldn't get away with, obviously, like smoking everywhere. I still think of the days where people, you could smoke on buses, you could smoke on planes, you could smoke in a um, diner, restaurants, basically you could smoke any and everywhere that you wanted to. And honestly, I'm glad they banned smoking in a lot of places because, first of all, and this is just me speaking because I'm not a smoker and I grew up with basically my whole family smoking. And it's gross. It is so fucking gross. One is it's not good for you. It's bad for your lungs, obviously, right? You smell bad. Your breath smells bad. Um, and if you like, it's one thing like if you grow up in a house where like people smoke, you're not going to know the difference until you go somewhere where people don't smoke, and then you're like, "Is that me? Do I smell like that?" And you're like, "Fuck." You would never know. You would never know that you reek of cigarettes. And you're like, "I don't even smoke. It's my family." So there's that. um It's in the 80s, so there are things that are, you know, culturally different from like now's standpoint. Um it's like clothing, music, everything in that genre. Um and let's see what else. I don't know. And maybe some of the jokes. I don't know if they would land today, because people are just so fucking sensitive these days. It's like you can't. It's almost like you can't say anything without like hurting someone's feelings. Like, oh my god, like, what do you like? Just I don't. And me saying this may get me canceled. I don't even know. But at this point, I don't care. I do not care. I've only got 20 followers, but if you do plan to follow me, just know when I say things, I'm not purposely trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but at the same time, grow some fucking balls. Just like, are are you are you just like a fucking sensitive bitch all the time? Like I don't want to be around people that are sensitive, and I grew up personally around a mother who cursed 24/7, smoked, drink coffee, drink Dr. Pepper. Um, I'm trying to remember if she like drank like alcohol. If she did, it was like on rare occasions. She was not like a big drinker. Now I think later in life, like when I got to be of like an adult age, like in my 20s, like maybe even 21, and like everybody's old enough to take care of themselves, whatever. And I think she started to drink a little bit, not like heavy or whatever, but she's just one of those people. And when you watch certain TV shows and movies and everything of on that era from 80s to 90s, um, people did and said whatever they kind of wanted to. From watching Roseanne, watching Mama's Family, watching um, The Jeffersons, Maud. Um, there's so many shows that I can keep naming that today would be very inappropriate. But again, that's because people worry too much about what people are thinking rather than, oh, okay, that's actually pretty funny, because did we have we forgotten who our president is? I don't know. I don't know. But we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there, and we're going to make this again about this movie. Um, if it's if it could be uh, inappropriate today. Now, granted, it is a John Hughes film, and most, if not all, of his films, are either PG 13. Like going from like 16 Candles to um, this movie to Home Alone to, I don't know, you just keep naming it. Like he made so many films, and I think they were all like relatively family films, right? But at that time, there was nothing wrong with it. I'm just talking about today. In today's society, would people watch it? Would you get away with certain things? That was my question basically. And I really don't know, because I'm not I'm not a sensitive person, and it's only a couple things where you're like, ooh, I don't know if that would land very well today, but again, it's just a couple of things. But again, to me, I still watch this movie, and still love this movie. I I'm pretty much a big John Hughes fan. He makes a, he made a lot of great um, comedy, like family films, um, and mostly a lot of holiday films. If to be honest with you, I mean, yeah, there were some that not really non like holiday related, but for the most of it, like again, you think about like this movie, Home Alone, um, I don't know, my mind's going blank right now, but I mean, you get it, you get the gist. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling on and on. I've kind of gone over my time limit of where I wanted to be, but if again, if you have watched this movie and you do love this movie, comment. Maybe your favorite moments in the movie. What stands out to you? Do you still watch it? Yearly. Um, and if not, if this is your first time watching it, if you do plan on watching it, also let me know. Let me know what you think. And aside from that, I'm gonna say it again. Um, please like and subscribe. And yeah, um, I hope everyone's having a great day. Hope everyone had a wonderful Halloween. And yeah, take care.